What is up, everybody? It's your boy Flash from ALWT Gaming, aka Malachi 36. I'm here with It's the Nine Ball. How are you doing, man?
Okay.
Yeah, he's tired.
I'm okay.
That's what it is. He's tired. But he's okay. That's good. That's good.
I'm good.
All right.
Just reading some news real quick.
All right. And I am going to mute myself as Mildewy Carrot takes over and introduces what he's been doing for the day. My wife's calling.
Oh, not much. Just, got off of work. Been getting back onto some Conan again, and been playing a lot of Phasmophobia with It's the Nine Ball, Hey It's Abs, and Gravity Mark II. Fortunately, couldn't be here with us today. But yeah, we just been having a lot of fun. Just chillaxing, enjoying the winter holidays. I'm kind of really not planning too much heavy stuff because I'm going to wait for the New Year's to start doing that. I'm kind of just in that chill point, just saying like, all right, let's just end this year, get it over with. Let's get 2021 over, go into 2022. Hopefully it's better and bigger, Am I right, Nine Ball?
Yeah. No, stuff.
He is really interested on that news, guys. What are you reading over there, Nine Ball? What you got for us? While we're waiting for our dear Malachi 36.
Blizzard QA staff joins walkout as Raven software strike continues.
That doesn't surprise me. Does not surprise me that that's going on.
Yeah.
At all. Blizzard, Activision, all them, they just really got to get themselves together. Like, I know they've written stuff saying they're doing stuff like, oh, we're working on it. They're doing it. From what I've been reading, is they're doing the same stuff that they've done before.
They need to fire that guy.
A lot of people are calling they just need to replace the people up top. And actually, one of the articles I read was on MSN. I'm like, even MSN people are saying get rid of them. I'm like, that is interesting.
That's a mess. I was checking out a couple of news, reading that, and getting a lot of actually stuff about Arcane, which for me, like I said, that show was a 10 out of 10. It's worth a watch. I'm giving it a 10. I'm going up on the ratings on that one.
I still have to watch that show. Like, it's on my list to watch. I just have not.
That and Battlefield 2042 has been showing up both for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, to be honest, everyone was expecting like a huge hype, and I was kind of expecting like, all right, it's another, it's an upgraded version of like Warzone, so everyone's going to be going over to it. But apparently, it fell so hard.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened to it. I don't play it. I barely play Warzone enough, so I'm not too concerned about it. But it's very surprising that a game that people were expecting to do well flopped as hard as that one did. Oh,
it's not doing well at all.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Activision sucks. That's all it is. Activision just sucks. I know I came in like towards the tail end of that conversation, but I know
very tail end, but we know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Activision just sucks right now. But in a couple days we have we actually have the VGAs that's going to be happening. For anyone that is curious about what that is, that's Video Game Awards.
What is it?
Video Game Awards. And
what's a video game?
It's a video game. It's a game that is video. Okay, so what's gonna happen?
What? Those exist?
Jeff Keighley is gonna have.
We're giving awards to them.
Jeff Keighley is gonna have his event. He's been doing this, I think, for the past like 4 or 5 years now, maybe a little bit longer. And we're gonna be having different categories, all that good stuff. We've already kind of been sprinkling our thoughts about each category, what we think was going to win for the past like 2 or 3 weeks now for the ALWT Gaming. Today, we're going to kind of go a little bit further into that. We have 15 categories remaining. We're going to do most of them. We're not going to do all of them, but we're going to do most of them. But before we do that, I did want to bring this up because earlier in the year, I want to say like probably like halfway through the year actually, us three who happened to be on the stream had mentioned that we wanted to predict what's going to be at the Video Game Awards.
I think that
And
was like what, back in November, October?
it
something
was
like that?
earlier than that. I think it was like literally. Let me see when the last update was actually, because now you got me curious. Let me take a look at that properties.
All I know is like
No,
we
you're right.
definitely
It was October 12th is when we did
okay.
it.
That was October.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. I was like, I know we didn't do it at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah,
I was like, by the way, we're gonna predict the VGAs now for games that haven't even come out yet. No.
exactly. Yeah, we're just that good. I
see it all.
So
Nine
we
Ball's
went
up
ahead
there
and did
shaking
that.
that 8-ball, going, "You're not better than me, but tell me what to do."
So we went ahead and made some predictions, and some of them we have 3 likelies to seize. We have 2 Gatorade get hype moments, and we have 1 that more than likely would not be there, but if that happens, OMG, that's what that category is. And of course, you get a point for every one that you get correct on here. And then for that bonus one, if you get that on the nose, like if you get it, 10 points, easy. So, looking at Mildewy Carrot's list right now, he has
I pulled a Malachi, by the way.
what we believe we're going to see is Dragon Age 4, a trailer with no gameplay, and year reveal. Then he has Mass Effect 4, trailer, no gameplay, year reveal. Then he has Elden Ring, more details, gameplay / trailer. Those are his 3 likely to seize. His Gatorade Get Hype moments are Last of Us Factions announcement and Silent Hill reboot announcements. And then his 1 in a million chance that this will happen is Drakengard reboot announcements. That is Mildewy Carrot in a nutshell. We have It's the 9-Ball have a Coda remake. This is likely's Coda remake trailer gameplay with gameplay and year reveal. He has Plague's Tale 2 release date gameplay. He has Hellblade 2 release date gameplay late 2022 release year. And his Gatorade Get Hype moments are Starfield gameplay and Metal Gear Solid remake short trailer.
I don't think that's happening.
And then his 1 in a million is Elder Scrolls 6. That's all it says, just Elder Scrolls 6. And then you have me, which I already failed. But I have Saints Row trailer gameplay. I can still get points for those, but no information on the delay. Technically, I failed because they did delay it. Now, was that the VGAs? But they did delay it, so I'll play by the rules.
How much you want to bet they're gonna play a video, show the game trailer, but said, "By the way, just as a reminder, it's delayed."
That would suck. Final Fantasy 16 release date, more gameplay. Final Fantasy 7 remake announcement, release year. Those are my likelies. My unlikely, or not unlikely, my Gatorade get hype moments is Power Rangers open world multiplayer Xbox exclusive release year Game Pass title. And then Spider-Man 2 gameplay trailer. And then the bonus, which is the Gatorade, or is the 1 in a million, is Legend of Dragoon remake release year and is a PlayStation exclusive. So that's our prediction that we want to see this coming Thursday for the VGAs. But before we go inside that, let's dive. Well, before we dive inside the topics, everything like that. Once again, thank you very much, everybody that's been tuning in. This is episode 76 of ALWT Things Gaming, which is episode 62 for Anchor and Spotify. So thank you very much again. If you guys want to follow us, make sure you guys are checking us out on social media platforms such as Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all of that. Just type in ALWT Gaming, which stands for At Least You Try Gaming, which you can use to look on YouTube if you have trouble finding us by ALWT Gaming. And then lastly, make sure you guys are going to Rep Sports, reppsports.com. If you guys like Raise energy drinks, get 15% off. Just type in ALWT Gaming at checkout and get 15% off. Just works like that. No sugar. So,
Aww.
Going on over here to Best Action Adventure Game. So here's how the list looks. Let me go and pin this real quick. Pin this bad boy. All right, we have Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Metroid Dread, Psychonauts 2. We have Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and Resident Evil Village. So when we think about this, when we think about the best action adventure game, which is for the best action adventure combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving, who do you guys think is going to take this one? We're going to start with you, Mildewy Carrot.
Because it's combat with traversal and puzzle solving. I'm gonna really kind of put it to Psychonauts 2. Because that's kind of one of their aspects of the game is puzzle solving. Anyway, now the other one that I think could definitely do it is Metroid Dread. Because Metroid has always had a history of puzzles in their game. Of like cryptic things that you can find and do and get extra power-ups or boosts by finding them by doing little hidden things off to the side instead of just going on the main storyline. I haven't played Dread, so I don't know if they kept up that aspect very much. But I definitely know that it's kind of like one of the concepts of Psychonauts is solving puzzles and stuff to even go through the main storyline itself. So I'm going to give that to Psychonauts 2.
Heard that. 9-Ball.
I'm do the same, but in reverse. I think it's gonna be Dread.
Ooh. Oh. Oh.
I was looking at them and I was trying to figure out which one. I think Marvel's of the Galaxy is known more for its story than anything. Village, no. It's.
There's
I mean,
puzzles. I mean, there's some, but
it's. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not a bad game, but it's sort of action adventure, but it's more horror than action adventure. I don't think it's that one at all. It is puzzles in there though. I'm going to say Nintendo's got to win something, so we're going to go with Metroid Dread. Psychonauts is a close contender because of how the games are set up, and since you go into people's minds, it makes them very interesting puzzles to solve. So, Metroid Dread for me.
And I actually am right there with you there, 9-Ball. I believe it's Metroid Dread followed by Psychonauts as well. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, I think that's more Final Fantasy-esque than it is a puzzle game, to where Final Fantasy VII original and the remake are more strategy than puzzle. I know that's kind of like a close, like almost like apples and apples. It's almost something like that, but it really isn't. There's a difference between strategy and puzzle games when it comes down to the gaming genre, and I think Metroid Dread has more puzzles. Same thing. And then for Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, I think there's a few mini games and stuff like that that's puzzle like, but I think that one's identified more as a platformer than a puzzle game. Same thing for you hit it right on the head for Resident Evil Village. I don't think that's. I mean, I've noticed that there's a couple puzzles in the demo that me and Gravity Mark had played, so obviously there's puzzles there, but.
Oh, it's always puzzles in Resident Evil games.
Yeah, but it's not. I wouldn't classify that as a action. I mean, I guess it's action adventure when I look at the category itself, but it's not.
It gets action adventure a lot towards the end. I don't really think it's going to be like. I don't think
it doesn't combine combat with traversal and puzzle solving though. Yeah. That's the reason why I think Psychonauts is guys, because like Trevin, like 9-Ball said, there is that Psychonauts, you go into people's mind, you have to solve the puzzles of their mind and all knowing that, but like just the puzzles of getting to those places, like it's very platformer puzzle action combat based. So I feel like that's why I feel like at least Psychonauts, but I definitely agree Metroid Dread is a strong contender there with that.
Yeah.
So interesting to see what the audience says.
Best role-playing game, which is for the best game design with rich player character to customization and progression, included massively multiplayer experiences. We have Cyberpunk 2077, Monster Hunter Rise, Scarlet Nexus, Shin Megami Tensei 5, and Tales of Arise. This one confuses me by the way that they...
Yeah, by the way they word it. It makes it a lot harder than what it is.
Because by that logic, especially that last sentence, including massively multiplayer experiences, there's only one, and that's Monster Hunter Rise. The multiplayer for Cyberpunk isn't even out yet.
I mean, I don't know about rich multiplayer Does it have customization on Rise?
So
Yeah,
the customization is you can change your character up and all. The customization and all is based a lot on the armor sets and builds with the armors and the weapons. So you can customize. So you can mix. So you've got 5 pieces of armor: head, chest, arms, waist, and greaves. And then you got your weapon. You've got a trinket that you can have as well, and you can modify each of those to create different things. And each piece of armor has different ability sets to them. And there's a lot of different abilities in the game. So there's a lot of customizations with the armors in there to kind of offset the standard thought of role playing, which is where it's like, all right, now I'm going to bump up my character's strength and all. It's like, no, it's all based on your armor set and what you've gathered, crafted, and built.
Yeah, and even with that being said, like there's customization in 2 of these games. Like Cyberpunk, full customization of your person. You barely see them, but full customization. And then Monster Hunter Rise, even aside from the armor, you can still create your person how you want him to look to a degree with presets and everything like that. You can even change your companions of how they look and everything like that. So, but I don't think you can switch your person in Scarlet Nexus or Tales of Arise. Shin Megami Tensei 5 is up there in the air for me, but I'm pretty sure Scarlet Nexus has
play Shin Megami Tensei 5.
Yeah,
I do too.
But the thing
I think it's the same with Shin Megami Tensei, Tales of Arise, and Scarlet Nexus is that Shin Megami
it's just a set person.
You set to the one person.
Yeah.
Tales of Arise, you're set to the one or the other, and then same with.
But I know with Shin Megami Tensei, it's a lot with relationships with beings. You can go through, from what I'm understanding, a Shin Megami Tensei without fighting, and you can actually recruit the villains, some of the demons.
Yeah, and that's that's
there's a lot of that.
I get all of that, but the thing is, by this description, what they're saying, none of them really actually match what they're saying. Obviously, we know what role playing games are. And it doesn't have to have customization and stuff like that technically in it, but just the way that they worded this, especially that last, the last sentence, is just really weird. But that aside, 9ball, starting with you, what do you think is taking that sweep?
Okay, so I'm gonna ignore what this says up here, and I'm gonna just going off this list here. This is actually a very good list of games. 2 of them I haven't really touched. I got Scarlet. But because Xbox doesn't recognize my other hard drive for whatever reason every once in a while, I haven't really got a chance to play it.
Yeah, Game Pass. It should be on your PC for Game Pass.
It is. I got it downloaded, but Xbox sometimes doesn't see my hard drive. I don't know why. I don't know why it does. I know I got more than one, so it just acts weird. If Cyberpunk came out working, it would have been a viable contender, but it didn't come out working. I'm going to go with Tales of Arise for this one. I think, to be honest, like everybody said, I've heard a lot of nothing but praise for Tales of Arise. Tales of Arise, the Tales series, was always, like most people say, it was a B-tier game for a while. I mean, it had its gems. Tales of Berseria was one of them. I'm playing Tales of Zestiria, but it's okay. It's more of your typical style of anime style game. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's nothing that really sticks it out like a Final Fantasy or something. But from what I've caught from Tales of Arise, people are saying that's the one that's getting it, that finally pushed it into, the top tier of, role playing games. So I'm gonna go with Tales of Arise for this one.
Heard that. Mildewy.
So, I mean, I definitely agree with 9ball. I've been hearing a lot of stuff about Tales of Arise. Shin Megami, I think, is a really good one. Scarlet Nexus, what I'm saying is you've got your one character, and each character has got like their own ability sets, and then you can kind of semi-modify them around, kind of like Borderlands in a way. But it's like, other than that, you don't really have too much customizations, maybe some skins and stuff that you can get. Other than that, really not much in there. Shin Megami I haven't really dug into because I'm still saving it as a surprise for me because I really want to play that game. But in terms of just like a role-playing aspect, like if you just think of RPG, I would definitely have to say probably Tales of Arise would take it. But I'm going to go off of what they're stating here in terms of the forms. And I'm definitely going with my Monster Hunter Rise.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I am actually in agreement with 9ball. I not only do I think that Tales of Arise will win it, I think that they deserve to win it for a couple of things. one, that game was something that was like, all right, we don't know if this is going to hit or not. And not only did it hit, but it hit in a major way. Two, it's a long game and people are still impressed. There's so much to do in it. There's so much to do just in general. They also incorporated Kirito and Asuna from Sword Art Online.
I was wondering if you saw that.
Every time I look at this game, I'm like, I want to pick you up right now, but I can't because I don't have 70 hours to put in this game right now. and really think about that. This is a 70-hour plus game. You're pretty much getting your money's worth. This is a $70 game. You're getting $1 per hour of gameplay on this thing. And on top of that,
they have. I don't know how many hours I put into Monster Hunter Horizon, still enjoying it.
But and they also have, again, Asuna and Kid. Like, every time I look at this, I literally am like, this is an anime in video game form, and I want to play it so bad, and I just haven't, just because of the time. So I do think that they've done something, like both of you guys said, I have not heard a single bad thing. The only caveat that I heard that was bad about this, which is not even a bad thing, was that it's a very long game, so people can't beat it in a weekend. That's the only caveat. And at that point, it's just like, it's not meant to beat in a weekend, so is it even really a bad thing? No. Like, it's giving you longevity in a game. And that I think is really impressive. Like, that's something that rivals, to me, this latest game was the Tales of Arise, which I haven't even touched it yet, but it does rival a Final Fantasy for me in general. Like, I love that idea of what they're doing. I love how the incorporation of Sword Art Online, which is my favorite anime of all time, just all that stuff together. I think they deserve to win this. I think Cyberpunk would be in discussion if, like Nambal said, if it had a good launch. It had a horrendous launch, and it should be in Game of the Year discussion, but it's not even a Game of the Year contender. It's just barely making it for best role-playing game. So I think that Tales of Arise should take this one. This one is best fighting game. So we have Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, the Hinokami Chronicles, Guilty Gear Strive, Melty Blood Type Lumina, Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl, and Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown. I think, all right, so here I'm going to give what I think is going to be the likely winner, and I'm going to give you one that I think that wouldn't shock me if it does end up becoming the winner. And the one that I think is going to be the likely winner is going to be Guilty Gear Strive. That's what I think is going to happen. I think that has such a huge, like, I've heard pretty good stuff about that game too as well, and just has such a huge following, such a huge fan base behind it. You don't see Mortal Kombat up here. You don't see Street Fighter up here. Nickelodeon All-Stars, even though that's like a little fun Super Smash Brothers spin-off game, let's be serious. Let's be real. It's not going to win anything. Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown. I've been getting more inside of the Virtua Fighters actually not too long ago, but even with that one, it's just more like all right, that's fun for like a party game. It's anything too drastic. Haven't seen anything for Melty Blood, so I don't know how that game plays out, but I know that looking at these name titles, Guilty Gear is the one that sticks out to me the most. The one that I wouldn't be surprised if it does end up winning it would be Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba. Though the story is one for one directly from the anime, and you're playing as Tanjiro through, which I do enjoy. I do appreciate that. There's other games that's done that. Obviously, Dragon Ball Z, pretty much anything that's an anime based game is going to
Dragon Ball overdid it. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, but I will say that the gameplay for Demon Slayer is so beautiful, so satisfying. It's pretty good. And I just don't know anyone that's inside the fighting genre that's just like played nothing but fighting games. I think the decision on that one's split when it comes to Demon Slayer. I think some people love it, and then some people are just not a fan of the arena fighter. I don't know, but they were well enough to make it in here. Like, Demon Slayer came out in October, and it's already inside fighting game of the year. Like, that's saying something. So I wouldn't be surprised if Demon Slayer takes it, but I think the likely answer is going to be Guilty Gear Strive 9-ball.
Ooh, this one's a tough one, and it's between Guilty Gear Strive or Melty Blood Type Lumina. Both use arc style combat, which is becoming more and more prevalent. You're seeing it in the new League of Legends games.
Dragon Ball Z Fighters.
I think, yeah, it's in Dragon Ball Z Fighters, but they use that style, and I think it's going to be Guilty Gear. but I wouldn't be surprised if Melty Blood takes it. It's been a lot of hype around it, and I've seen it a lot in fighting. I forgot I have Team Shade or something. I can't remember the name of the streamer. He streams only fighting games, and he does like the entire fighting game circuits. You've seen a lot of Melty Blood. I might have to go for Melty Blood. I've seen a lot of Melty Blood in there. It's been played a whole lot. Also, Guilty Gear. I'm a. This is. I'm gonna say Melty Blood. I want to say Guilty Gear, Stripe, but Melty Blood, I'm thinking may edge it out. I wouldn't be surprised if Guilty Gear wins, but I think Melty Blood might take it.
Heard that. Mildewy.
Nickelodeon All Stars. Get your serious games and get out of here.
Is that really your pick?
I'm really doing that. I'm just doing a crap shot on this one. I don't play fighting games much, but I just took one look at it and I just laughed my ass off. I'm like, I'm picking that. I'm just picking it. Don't get me wrong. I've been looking at some of these games that you've been talking about, but it's just fighting games just really have never spoken to me that well. If I had to pick one though for being serious, I would actually probably have to pick Guilty Gear Strive, just because it looks like it's got kind of a bit more interesting story concept to it, and also pretty good fighting mechanics to it as well. But like I said, I didn't really want to go serious with this category, so I chose Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl just because I wanted to.
Heard that.
I love Nickelodeon, and I just see SpongeBob and Patrick. Just I'm like, I got childhood right there, and I'm just being stupid.
On speaking of childhood, best family game is the next category. It's going to be on you, but I do want to make a note of this. So It Takes Two, Mario Party Superstars, New Pokemon Snap, Mario 3D World, Bowser's Fury.
You just called this a Nintendo section.
And WarioWare Get It Together. Well, normally it is, but you see, It Takes Two is there.
Yeah.
So I'm going now. Here's the thing. Here's one thing I will always say is that best family game. I perceived it of two different ways. How they say it right now is for the best game appropriate for a family to play, irrespective of the genre or platform. Okay, cool. The way I've always looked at family games is not necessarily just appropriate to play, but also a game that you can play with your family. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of the way I've always looked at it. Obviously, I feel like it's kind of a given that if it's a family game, it should be G-rated, PG at the most. But I'm just kind of curious as to how this is going to swing, because all these are appropriate for families, but I think that It Takes Two can go to, as much as I want it to be It Takes Two, I have a feeling that it's going to be like a little too deep as far as their messaging goes. So it just kind of, I don't know, it just kind of is, it's kind of up in the air. But before I go ahead and say my stuff, Mildew Care, it's on you. What do you think is going to take this one?
Because we're talking about a family game that is appropriate for family play, I kind of agree with you. Family play meaning it's got two meanings to it. It's either stuff that just the entire family can play of itself, either together or separate, or one is where the family can play as a whole together. There's a lot of good games in here for that aspect. It Takes Two, Mario Party Superstore, Pokemon Snap, the Mario 3D World, and Bowser's Fury. I was never a big fan of WarioWare. I heard it's got some good readings, but I'm not writing it up there at all because Wario is very weird, and the WarioWare stuff is very unique in terms of its gameplay style and everything. So I don't think that one's going to take anything at all. If I'm going to go off of best family in terms of something that a family can play either to kind of together or separately and still have a good time, enjoy, and really get stuff out of, It Takes Two is going to take that one for sure. But if we're going off of the introspective of if it's a family game tour, we're talking like family party sit down, family style, family fun, Mario Party Superstars.
I'll take it.
Because Mario Party Superstars just has a history of just creating that fun time for everyone with mini games, the boards, team based. It's got a lot of customization there where a family can have a lot of fun together, or even not even just a family. Like there's times where you me, Hey It's Abs, and Gravity got together and we played with TVFS. We were playing the Mario Party on our old GameCube system. Like we did that before COVID and all, like, and we were having fun with it because it's just that much fun. So it really comes down to like how we're determining the definition of family. And this is one where I'm going to be going as literally of the aspect of being. I mean, because here's the thing: they throw in that little tip on the irrespective of genre or platform. Most of these are on Nintendo, so there's only on one platform, except for It Takes Two.
Yeah.
So it's almost like they're thinking that they're going to make it do It Takes Two to begin with. But to be honest, when I'm thinking of a true family game, which is the definition I'm going to go off of, I'm going to go with Mario Super Party Superstars.
9-ball.
God dang it, you're right. I wanted to say It Takes Two so bad. Yeah, I'm gonna go Mario Party Superstars. I'm not proud of it, but
I'm not either. But like I said, it really depends on that definition.
If
we do the other definition, we're all It Takes Two, and it's going to take it for sure.
God,
but I don't think that's the definition they're doing. I don't know who did this site, but whoever wrote those definitions, they need to work on their verbiage.
Yeah, because I don't see a lot of doing Pokemon Snap or.
Well, it didn't. Also, on top of that, it didn't score that well. Like
no, it didn't.
I think it got on Metacritic, which we'll go over here in a minute. I think it only got 1 point or a couple points.
It got 10 points.
It got 10 points.
Yeah, I'm looking at our gaming league right now.
It was actually better than the original 64 version, I think, but it wasn't one that's because Snap is very single player based. Yeah, you could kind of have fun. Just mom and dad maybe sitting around the young kid, like say, "Oh, look, there's a Pokemon there," and you try and get the picture and all. But in terms of actually playing together, it doesn't really do that. It can be fun when you're kind of just sitting there and kind of looking at the Pokemon world. But like I said, I think that's with kind of like younger kids.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna go off a normal family now. Sometimes my dysfunctional family. We have to say superstar.
How are we gonna solve this? Superstars.
I'm kind of in this. Actually, not kind of. I'm in the same boat as you guys, both of you guys. I want It Takes Two to win. I wouldn't be surprised if they win, but I do think it's going to be Mario Party Superstars. You guys said all the examples too as well, so there's not much for me to beat the dead horse with. But yeah, that's.
You can take a couple whacks at it.
Yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at right there. Mario Superstars. I wanted to be It Takes Two, but I think Mario Superstars is going to take it. Best sim/strategy game, and this one's going to be on it's the 9-ball. Age of Empires 4, Evil Genius 2, World Domination, Humankind, Inscription, or Microsoft Flight Simulator. 9-ball.
I'm gonna have to go with Flight Simulator.
I
want to say Inscription. I really want to say Inscription.
Okay.
I really do, but the photorealism of the sim, and I've seen people play it, how people play it. To be honest, you know what? I'm going with Inscription. I already tortured myself in the last one. I'm not doing it again. I'm going with Inscription.
I'm not putting up with that stress.
I'm not sacrificing myself any lower. We're not lowering the bar.
Raise it.
Like the Raise energy drink you guys can get from ppsports.com. Type it out to give me a check out, get 50% off.
Yeah, I'm going with Inscription. The gameplay looks unique. It's very good looking. I still have not played mine. I've seen a lot of streamers play it, and I can't wait to try mine out. As soon as I get through with this, what is that? Fatal Frame. Yeah, I'm about through with it. Hopefully, about through with it.
Right there. Mildewy Carrot.
So, I would go with 9-ball on Inscription because of what I've seen and all, but I don't think it's going to beat out my Age of Empires. You're talking about real-time or turn-based simulation or strategy games. Yes, Flight Simulator has got some really good, graphics, good mechanics, controls for flight simulation and all that, but that's really kind of all it is. That's all you do is you just get in the air, fly around, and have some fun. Enjoy the scenery. Not much there, in my opinion, but that's me. Age of Empires is real-time strategy to where you're having to, not only does it have storylines for it, to where you can go through like pretty much a lot of good a lot of games too, but it's got a really good storyline to where you're going through able to play as different different campaigns, different groups and all as you go through time. At least what they did in Age of Empires 3, as you walk through 3 different timelines of zones with campaigns and different people as you went from medieval ages up to revolutionary age. So I'm pretty sure they're doing something similar to that in Age of Empires 4. Not only that, but just the multiplayer aspect is just a lot of fun too. In just terms of combat based maps, just groups, abilities, and everything, you've got a lot of thought and choices there. I probably would have said Humankind, but from what I've been hearing, it kind of almost feels a bit similar to Civ 6, and I haven't heard good or bad things about it, to be honest. So it's kind of a flat point right now, even though it's kind of hyped. Evil Genius 2, I've got Evil Genius 1, and it's a lot of fun being like just trying to like take over the world and all, and planning out your bases and everything. But I just feel like Age of Empires has got this because they've been just doing it for so long and just kept going and kept building on it, and they've got everything. And I mean, the only other real thing that can cinch this is, come on, guys, Trebuchet video.
The Trebuchet.
That's really all I had to say, but I wanted to put more in there. But I just Trebuchet video right there, closing it.
I'm actually in agreement with Mildewy Carrot. I think that Age of Empires is going to be the one to take it. I obviously a lot of people's been talking about Flight Simulator. Part of that is just because Xbox has been pushing that so heavy. But at the same time, one of the reasons, even aside from that, one of the reasons why I don't think Microsoft Flight Simulator is going to win is because, for one simple fact, it was in there last year. It was in the conversation last year for the same category. Maybe even won. So I think that the developers are going to look at it and be like, well, it won last year, or it was nominated last year. Let's go ahead and give it to Age of Empires. You heard nothing but great things about Age of Empire 4. I haven't heard any critiques about it at all. It's the definition of best sim strategy game. And same thing, like, I think Microsoft Flight Simulator is a cool idea. Maybe try it for like a couple hours or so. But unless they incorporate some Ace Combat crossover in that, I don't see what's so appealing about Flight Simulator. I just flat out don't. Like, you're not racing unless they do include flight races in there. That'd be cool. But outside of that, you're not racing. It's not like Horizon or Gran Turismo. It's nothing like that. There's no action in it. You're just flying, and that's it. So, unless your profession is going to be an air pilot, I don't understand why so many people are hyped about Microsoft Flight Simulator the way that it is.
Yeah, that one just sounds like it's such a wonderful simulation game. I'm like, you have to be a very special person to play that game and truly get like thousands of hours in there.
I know Snyder plays and it has thousands of hours.
I believe it.
It doesn't surprise me. Like I said, it really doesn't surprise me, but it's not my cup of tea.
For best sports and racing game, this is a given. We already know who's going to win this one, but I'm going to go over it anyway.
Yeah, I thought to say, tell them.
Yeah, it's the Hot Wheels Unleashed, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, everyone knows that. F1 2021, FIFA 22, Forza Horizon 5, Hot Wheels Unleashed, Riders Republic. It's Forza Horizon 5. Forza Horizon 5.
No, Hot Wheels Unleashed.
It's Hot Wheels Unleashed.
Yeah, like looking at it right now on Metacritic right now, Forza Horizon. Who has a Forza Horizon? It was you, right?
Yeah, it was me.
Okay, yeah, so Forza Horizon got him 92 points. Scored a 92, so got him 24 points on our little fantasy gaming league. That's the most points out of all the games that's on our league. Period, all of them.
That thing's scored.
Yeah. So yeah, and I know it comes down to open worldness, the racing, the way that the system just knows it's already you. I didn't type in my name. When I first started Forza Horizon, and they're like, "Hey, Cameron," like they literally said it in there. Now, did Mark Zuckerberg get a little bit of that? You know what I mean? Is the meta already in this? Possibly.
It's the beginning of Skynet.
Exactly. But no, I kid you not. I'm not even joking. I literally did not type in my name. Like the only way that they really got the
They
information
read it from the system.
even that is not in the system. But the only way they can know that is if they got it from my Xbox information on my
Well, that's what I
profile.
meant.
Yeah,
That's what I meant. It's like they read it from there.
yeah.
They tapped into it and got it from the.
But even then, it's not like I spoke inside the thing. Like, what if my name was like Owalu or something like that? Would they pronounce it that way? Because they said it very, very perfectly. And yeah, but anyway, I say all this say that there's definitely a lot of intensiveness that's inside of Forza Horizon 5. Me personally, you guys already know, I would prefer it to be FIFA 22, but I would prefer it to be FIFA 22 not underneath EA. Because EA right now is just, I don't think that EA deserves as much credit as how they were before in the past when they had BioWare in the earlier stages, or just in general. Like, EA's been making some very questionable decisions, and when it comes to the sports games, they barely make any changes to it. FIFA 22.
EA's barely made any good decisions, and this was before COVID.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, now granted, I do like the FIFA games that has been coming out, and there has been whatever team, which it looks like EA Vancouver, has been the one that's been working on FIFA in general. That one seems to be one that's working, but even then, I can feel the wheels kind of sticking to where it's just like, all right, 22 is actually really good. Is 23 going to be just the same as 22, or what are they going to do different there? Like, that's kind of where it's at for that. Madden had fallen off a while ago. Madden had been a disappointment for the past couple years now, but FIFA's still hanging in there, and which is why it's here right now, best or racing sports game period for the year. But when you look at this list, Forza Horizon 5 easily takes it.
Why, you just picked fourth.
9-ball.
What?
It's on you.
Oh, okay.
Unless you guys all agree with me, you guys will move on to the next one. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, let's move on to the next one. Everybody knows it's Forza. I was just kidding.
Is that your agreement there too, Mildewy?
Yeah.
No, we're going with Hot Wheels.
Yeah. No, I just want to go Hot Wheels just because I want to. Nothing like that T-Rex play set. Where it just goes around and around and then eventually gets chomped on by the Rex and all that. It's so much fun.
Best multiplayer. This one has 6 categories in it. We have
6
Back for
games.
Blood, Knockout City, It Takes Two, Monster Hunter Rise, New World, Valheim. So I want to start with Mildewy Carrot on this one.
I don't even know where to start with this.
Valheim.
You think it's Valheim?
The reason I'm saying that is because we're talking about online multiplayer. It's not saying just because the thing with It Takes Two is, if I remember, I think It Takes Two is pretty much local co-op.
No,
play.
No, you could play.
No, you can play with a random person online.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's the same
That's
people
good.
that made No Way Out or A Way Out or whatever. And,
Okay.
And yeah,
Cool.
I did that with
All right. Cool. Well, I would definitely probably say it could be It Takes Two, but Valheim just has a really good. I mean, even when we played it, like, there's just so much you can do and just randomly do with the multiplayer aspect in Valheim, in terms of building, crafting, going anywhere, fighting creatures, fighting bosses, sailing around, having fun. It Takes Two is definitely a good one in terms of just, it's very story based and all, towards like you can, just go in, play with your friends, solve the puzzles, go through it and all, but it's very linear in a way, if I remember right. Valheim, though, is very open world to where you can go anywhere. And not only that, but each world is different. So it's based off of based off a random map simulator. Every time you make a new world, it's got a different seed for that world. So you're not going into the same world anytime. But not only that, what I like about Valheim too is if I've got a character that I've been playing with and doing really well, and my friend needs help, I can bring that character that's doing well into their world to help them out. I don't have to make a new character. I don't have to adjust myself down to their level. And people are like, well, that's cheating. I'm like, not really. Because you can't craft anything like in their world they haven't already unlocked or gotten to. You can just come in and be like kind of like a shield guardian to help them get to where they're going if they're really struggling. I would have said Monster Hunter Rise for co-op play because I love that game. Just playing online, the community's pretty good. I don't really get a lot of negative people with that in terms of multiplayer capabilities. But the problem I have with Monster Hunter Rise is Nintendo doesn't know what online chat is. So sorry, but you lost. I'm not going to talk about the Q Simulator from Amazon. You know, that one just, I don't know why it's there. Knockout City, I heard, is okay, but yeah, Back for Blood is good, but you can, I feel like that one's 50-50 to where you can get those people that are trolling, or where you can get the good ones who play, or the ones who are just over the top going, like, why the hell are you doing this, you know? So between the two, I would definitely say it's between It Takes Two or Valheim, but I'm going with Valheim with my random logic that I just spit out and don't remember now. Anyways, 9-ball next.
Well, I was about to say, for me, I actually would say, I think it's either going to be Knockout City or New World, believe it or not. I really do think it's going to be both of those, because even though New World had a pretty bad launch as far as like only having 2,000 servers or whatever that was that had happened, ultimately people that got into New World and was able to play it really enjoyed it until just recently when they
that new patch came in.
Yeah, but I think that new patch came in after a majority of these votes have already been casted. You know what I mean? So I think that's what I think is kind of going on here. Obviously we can vote as consumers and outside looking in, but our votes really don't matter. It only matters on a couple of categories, unless there's like they're both 49%, and they need that hump to get over. Then our vote would count. Outside of that, our votes don't really matter. So I do think that the hype that Knockout City had at launch and people still continuously playing it. Like, I'm still seeing on social media right now where people be like, I don't know why I haven't played Knockout City in so long. Like, this is an awesome game, and they just have such a good time with it. I think that Knockout City might win it, but I wouldn't be surprised if New World does. Valheim, I know that was a good starting launch, obviously, but I think the problem with Valheim is that it's just like a lot of these games that come out earlier in the year, it's kind of forgotten. Like, it's like you had a good time with it, it shined, and then that was it. And then when you see it here, you're like, oh yeah. And then you have to think about your time there, unless it like was really a lasting impression. That's kind of where I think that Valheim won't win it, and that's probably one of the couple only reasons. It Takes Two, I think, was a good experience, multiplayer experience, but again, you only have two people. You can only play that game multiplayer. But that one is one that, again, like, I think that's a good like just one-off, like one-on-one, but I don't think it's going to win anything massive. Back for Blood, I know it started off good, but I know the biggest thing that I hear about Back for Blood is that it's just Left 4 Dead, just in a different coding. That's really all it is. Monster Hunter Rise, again, same thing. I heard that really good. I own the game, but it's just one of those games where it's just like it has good gameplay, it has good movements with it, but kind of the same thing to where, unless you're talking about the expansion that comes out with it, it did come out in the earlier of the year. Like, you don't hear a whole lot of people talking about it unless you're referencing the expansion, or in this case, the Video Game Awards now. So that's kind of why I'm thinking. I think Knockout City, even though it came out earlier in the year, you still hear those conversations, and then New World does have some cons to it, but it also had a lot of pros to it too as well, until this Q server happened, and then the update that the recent patch that they just did like last week or whatever. 9-ball.
I'm pretty much in the same boat as you. I mean, I love Valheim. I really want to go back and start playing it again. But in this context, I feel like it's about too niche of a genre for a lot of people. I love the game, but it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. It Takes Two, I think, is sort of like in the same vein. I like the game. I feel like it looks nice, it plays nice, but I don't think it's going to take it. Back for Blood or Left 4 Dead, pretty much the same. Besides, it's just Left 4 Dead with a card system. I feel like Knockout City, I actually played it, and it is incredibly fun. You have like different types of balls and stuff you can throw at people. You can catch them, throw them back. I feel like that one should take it, because New World kind of was in the same. It kind of came out and they had a very bad launch. A lot of people played it. I've seen a lot of people play it, and then recently they had a bunch of problems with it. And that's where the thing comes in with New World. When did they take this vote, and was it before or after the patch?
Yeah.
If it's after the patch, it's guaranteed out. Because to be honest, it's a disaster right now, and they really need to fix that.
Mm. There
But
was recent news about that. I haven't read it, but I did see recent news to where they said that they're changing things based on player outlash and backlash and everything like that.
So they're uninstalling it, is what you're saying.
Nah. Nine Ball is going to start off this one, and I want to talk about the. We're going to skip. We only have 3 more left. There's. I just looked ahead, and we have 3 more that I want to talk about. Best debut indie. So, on here, we have The Artful Escape, Forgotten City, Kenna, Bridge of Spirits, Sable, or Valheim. Best debut indie, and that in context says for the best debut game created by a new independent studio.
um,
We're going off of context.
Yeah, we're going off context. It's Kenna. This is really like the only game I see that might give it a shot is probably Valheim, but it's going to be probably Kenna. Kenna came in with too strong of a launch, and it's still talked about.
Yeah.
Everybody's saying pick it up and go with it. I mean, even if this game had launched at probably $60, it would still be worth a buy.
100%.
And since it
100%.
Yeah. And launching at 40 just put it in like it already launched at discount area. Ember Labs did a stellar job creating not only a good character and a good starting point, but basically building a good world for it. To where if they want to, they can re-explore it. Or I know right now, I don't think they're really working on it anymore for them right now. Which I can agree with. If you ain't got ideas for it, don't ruin it.
Mm-hmm.
But this is 100%. I'm saying 100%, Kenna. The only other game I see that's even close is Valheim.
Mildewy.
I mean, Nine Ball said it all. You know, Kenna. You know, if it was only if it was only 4 of them up there with Valheim would have taken it for sure. Because like you guys said beforehand, it had such a stellar launch. Like it was so much fun, and just the fact that you can go with multiple people, not just 4. You can go up like I think 8 or more in there, like in this world, and just have fun, play, and just be Vikings while surviving in this world. Phenomenal. But then Kenna came in and just says, "Hi everyone," and you're just like sold. You just like you win. That's all you can say. It's just you win.
I'm right there with you guys. No contest. Kenna, Bridge of Spirits takes the plate, takes the trophy, take it home. Nothing else to talk about there. Let's go to the most anticipated game. I mean, that's a given. That's a given. I think it's gonna be good.
There's nothing to talk about in this one either.
Actually, there is.
No, there's not.
So I know our personal preference would be.
I will
Horizon
see you in
Forbidden
Knockout
West.
City if you dare challenge me. I will see you in Knockout City.
Here's the thing. So we have most anticipated game, which is Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, the Breath of the Wild, the sequel to Breath of the Wild, and Starfield. So it is on you, Mildewy. What's your take?
Horizon Forbidden West.
Okay. So
don't get me wrong. God of War is a very good game and has a very good story plot, and I can't wait to see it go on. But in terms of just full exploration, stuff you can do, trials, mechanics, and everything, just from what I've played, I am fully most anticipated waiting for Horizon Forbidden West. I know there's been a lot of talk with Elden Ring. It's definitely one of the top contenders too. But in all of them, it's Horizon Forbidden West, just because it's got such a beautiful story. It's got a wonderful world. They've got new mechanics that they showed off. Like I cannot wait for this game at all. Like if Elden Ring and Horizon dropped at the same time, I would automatically buy Horizon.
Oh, of course.
Right out the door.
Yeah.
First. Don't get me wrong. Elden Ring looks really good. We haven't seen much story play for it, but it still has my interest very well because it's very Souls-like from what we've heard. There's a God of War Ragnarok. The story is interesting in terms of the continuation of Kratos and all, and the boy, and going onward. But I just have to say Horizon. I can't say anything more besides Horizon.
And that's the thing. I'm with you as far as Horizon goes. Like God of War, I beat God of War 2018. I beat Horizon. God of War Ragnarok, when I'm looking at it, it definitely excites me for sure, but it just excites me as a sequel to the game I've already played. That's what it does. It's not like it's a huge title for PlayStation in general, because again, that was such a great game, and it's a great segue from what had happened in 2018 inside Ragnarok. So that's good. But as far as like pushing the genre forward, I wouldn't necessarily put it there. Horizon Forbidden West is beautiful. It looks amazing. I like the mechanics of it. Starfield we know absolutely nothing about still. Just the fact
it's the game.
Yeah, just the fact that Todd Howard is going to be working on it in this open world space.
That's why you should pick it.
Stuff. But I think as far as when I'm looking at this, I'm actually like seriously considering it. I do think that Elden Ring was just so hype to the point to where when they announced it this past it was like the Summer Games Fest when Jeff Keighley was talking about it, and you can hear that he couldn't contain his excitement and everything like that. Like that blew up the internet. The recent testing that's went out, because I actually submitted to be part of the testers, didn't get it, but I know that other people were able to test into it and they were able to play it, and they were amazed by how it is right now in its current state. And we still have 2 months to go before it even comes out. So I really do think that the game that's going to be winning most anticipation after looking at all this, I want it to be Horizon Forbidden West, but I think Elden Ring is going to take it. If not, I wouldn't be surprised if Breath of the Wild 2 takes it.
You're on the wrong train. You're on the wrong train.
Well, we'll see. What do you think there, Nineball?
Oh, God. I think you're both going to hate me.
You're going Starfield, I know.
Are you really going Starfield?
It's one of those ones I'm looking at. Starfield has been sitting over there for a long time.
I'm going to pause you for a second, because the fact that he didn't say yes or no, Mildewy, says that you just called it out. You just called it. Go ahead.
No.
Resume.
A lot of people have been wondering what Starfield is, though. It's not really an anticipated game. They want to know what it is.
Right.
Horizon Forbidden West is definitely on the top of my things because it looks amazing. I know it'll play amazing along with God of War Ragnarok, and Elden Ring. But I feel like it's the sequel to Zelda.
No, I've been confused. The sequel to Zelda, that's Breath of the Wild's 2, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I was about to say, I'm like, because right now he's falling through the sky. It looks like they're talking about Skyward Sword. And I'm like, Skyward Sword was not.
Yeah,
I'm not the huge Zelda person, but like that just was like not a game I wanted to play at all.
Yeah,
but
I don't think it's actually like. I don't think they actually officially. Nintendo did go ahead and announce that they're making it, but I don't think they did. I don't think they. Yeah, they announced that they're making it this year. That's they're at their Nintendo Direct, but I don't think they actually gave it a full-fledged title, which is why it says the sequel.
Okay,
yeah,
that's what got me confused. I can definitely see that one, but
I love Horizon, and it pains me to see Aloy treated like this.
Aloy.
I mean, the graphics, from what I've seen of the new one, they're really going to push the PlayStation 5 and put it as a very strong contender. Probably really go towards pushing it to the next level.
I can't wait.
And, yeah, I can't either, but Breath of the Wild is basically a staple for Nintendo. Just like I know Horizon Zero Forbidden West is a staple of the PlayStation, yeah, along with God of War, but this is basically the console.
Mm-hmm. I will even tapping onto what you just said. When you hear games that's like a Souls-like game, everyone knows that you're comparing it to Demon Souls or Dark Souls or Bloodborne. So everyone knows that's what that is.
Code Vein.
Code Vein is a Souls-like game. Like, but that's the thing. Like, you won't say like, if you say a Souls-like game, your mind doesn't immediately go to Code Vein unless you play Code Vein. Your mind immediately goes to Demon Souls or Dark Souls or whatever. That's exactly what platform Breath of the Wild has done. So that now you're out there, if you play a game, you're like, oh, it's very Breath of the Wild like. You hear that term all the time. It's very Breath of the Wild like. And that's why I think that's one of the things I think that would give Breath of the Wild the edge. But as far as like full on hypeness, I think that it's either me personally, I want it to be Horizon, but I think it's going to be between Elden Ring or Breath of the Wild 2.
I can, with those arguments, I can definitely see it because Elden Ring, like you said, definitely has had a lot of anticipation to it. And there's a lot of people talking about it. But the problem is just because I don't know too much about it and I don't hear much about it. Like I hear just people getting excited. Feel like it's kind of like it's one of those games where it's like, yes, I'm excited for it. But if I were to talk about a game I'm most excited for, like truly, in terms of like getting like Elden Ring definitely got me excited to get this new world, this new lore, and this new environment, and just get the good feeling of it. Like that, I'm very excited for. But in terms of like getting full excitement of continuing a story, I'm very excited to continue on the story of Aloy, to get more, to know more, especially after that ending of Horizon Zero Dawn. Like that ending was like, as soon as I saw the ending, I told TBF Abyss, I'm like, bro, there's a second one coming out. There's got to be. This feels very almost Mass Effect-ish in a way, the way that we're going in terms of like the ending and all. Like there's more coming. So Breath of the Wild's definitely, it has a very cult following, and because you've got a ton of Zelda games out there, it's like one of the staples, like Pokemon for Nintendo. Like it's one of the games that's kind of helped keep them going with, and that's why they released a lot of the old stuff again when they did that that Nintendo package with them, with that bringing forward the old games. You know,
we don't talk about that.
I know. We're not going to talk about it, but you know what I'm getting at. Like that's why they put a lot of them in there, is because it's a staple game. Like it's got a fun following, it's got this really heavy fan base. Like I've got friends who are heavy into the Zelda world, and like they've got like the Warriors of Hyrule series. Like they were going hardcore into that with all the updates and everything. They've gone into Breath of the Wild's hardcore. Like I've talked to people who've got 500 hours into the game because it's such an expansion. Can I not wait for a sequel to it? Of course not. Like what they've done with this world is fantastic compared to the other Zelda games. But I'm not as hyped for it as I am for Horizon. And that really does come down to, I think what we're saying is very much the audience feel. Like what is the audience feeling? Yes, there's the hype from the groups who definitely want another Souls game to continue on with what they've been like aching for in terms of with Elden Ring, because you know Dark Souls hasn't continued on. There's a possibility rumors of Bloodborne getting into something else, but we're not sure yet. So it's really filling that void for that group. Breath of the Wild, like I said, it's got its own cult base there. Starfield, we're not going to talk about it because there's nothing to talk about. And then Horizon and God of War really have their following because they're staples. But in terms of it, I think Horizon's definitely outstepped God of War currently. So you've got three followings here, but I think, at least in my opinion, the biggest anticipation I've got is, even though you're not hearing it because we've all been kind of sitting because we know it's coming, we're waiting for it, I feel like it's Horizon.
And I definitely agree with you on that. Like, one of the reasons why, me personally, because if us talk about personal taste, again, it's going to be Horizon. Yeah. And one of the reasons why is because Horizon, the first game, was its first entry. God of War has already had 5 or 6 God of Wars before that, and then they just completely revamped it with 2018.
I think they had 3.
They had 3. I think they had more because God of War Ascension. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. I think there's a couple more.
I know it was on PlayStation. I know of 3 because I had cousins who played those. I didn't get too much into them until the 2018 one, because the 2018 one seemed a lot more interesting. But I feel
there was a God of War Ascension. I remember that one.
Yeah. There's that. But so there's at least 4. Yeah, at least 4. But there's definitely a couple God of Wars that was out before that. So it's already established franchise, and then you revamp it for a whole new audience in 2018. And it just worked really, really well. So
new story too.
Don't say that.
Continuing.
Yeah. It's still, because it still does take some stuff from the earlier God of Wars, like some of the lore from that, and does bring it to what's going inside 2018. So like if you want to know that extra stuff beforehand, you can play the earlier ones, but you don't have to in order to continue on with what they're doing with God of War now. So I definitely think that when you put those two together, not everyone jumped inside the God of War train, even though God of War before that was already pretty good. But for Horizon, anyone that's jumping inside Horizon is jumping inside Horizon. Like it's because that first one set the bar for something that was brand new, that was different, open world, everything. Story was great, writing was great, graphics were amazing. All of that, like they set the bar already, and then that hype level just carried on over to the next one, which is why, if you were to ask me as a personal level, I do think it would be Horizon Forbidden West, but on a corporate level, I have a feeling it's going to be Elden Ring.
Nah, we're all getting rid of corporates, don't you know? We're taking on Activision and Blizzard, so we're getting rid of corporations.
What we're not getting rid of is best esports game, which is the final topic we'll be talking about today, and that is going to be Call of Duty, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Dota 2, League of Legends, Valorant. We're going to start... who started the last one?
Start with you, Malachi.
We'll start with me.
End us off. End us off there, Malachi.
I honestly think... you know what? I think there's going to be one answer for this, and there's the only one reason why I'm choosing this one. I think it's going to be League of Legends. And I think it's going to be League of Legends, not just because the game has been pretty consistent for the most part. Like, I mean, yeah, goods and bads and stuff like that. It's been a good ongoing game for all these years. But the thing that's different about this versus everything else that's going on is that you have a lot of stuff that's surrounding the League of Legends universe. You have the fighting game that's going to be coming out. You have the movie, Arcane, that's currently out right now. You have you have the Rifts Apart or Rifts or whatever that is, League of Legends.
The Ruin King.
Ruin King,
Oh,
yeah.
Ruin King's coming out. Yeah.
So you have all of that that's surrounding League of Legends. So when you look at this, even if it's not necessarily the best esports in general, you look at this, you're like, oh, League of Legends is doing big things. Let's go and vote for that. That's what I think is going to happen. So I think League of Legends is going to take this one. Even though I'm pretty sure they won it before, I think that they were going to take this one. 9-ball.
Oh, got it. I'm trying to think here. I was going to say League of Legends. I might go Valorant. I know it's both Riot Games. Because I know this one has a very huge... It's been more of a rising one. I think they're probably going to mix it up. Counter-Strike could be one, because this is also a very, very dedicated fan base. And it's been going on for years. I want to say League of Legends because of the recent success of Arcane. And that I wouldn't be surprised if it is, but I'm going to go Valorant for this one.
No Dewey.
Yeah, I'm definitely between Counter-Strike, Dota 2, and League of Legends. The reason why I'm saying that is because, kind of like Nambal said, Counter-Strike's been going on forever, and it's got a really huge fan base and player base.
I still watch them every now and again in Counter-Strike tournaments.
Dota 2 is like almost like one of the original style MOBAs out there. Like, it's old.
It invented League of Legends. Dota invented.
Yeah, it's like the beginning of the.
Yeah, it literally was like the members of Valve, like the makers of Dota. That's what League of Legends is. It's basically they split off and formed Riot Games.
Yeah, so Dota's definitely up there because it's an old fan base. League of Legends definitely is up there because it got going and then kept going, and it's been going, and they've got a very good lore behind their world too.
Yeah,
like they've been really amping it up in terms of not just here's some players, go ahead and just go in and start beating each other. Like, no, each of these players has a story. They have a history. There's a connection in all the world between all of these peoples. Like, they put a lot into it.
Well,
if I'm gonna choose something based on what they're talking about here for best esports game, for the game that has delivered the best overall esports experience to players, inclusive of tournaments, community support, and content updates, irrespective of genre or platform. With that in mind, I'm gonna have to go with League of Legends because League of Legends has a huge community support. You've got a lot of it, and you got people almost gilding up in the game. To be completely honest,
I might need to go with League too. I'm saying
updates. They do a lot of stuff, and they've recently been doing more because when Arcane came out, they actually announced they were rewriting a lot of the lore to the world.
Oh no, they've been doing that.
They've been doing it, but they've been doing it heavier now because they're trying to tie everything more fluidly together. Especially with the newer stuff that came out with like the KDA groups and all that. Like, they're really just evolving it. So this is a game that's in constant evolution. So I'm gonna go with League of Legends. Sorry, I didn't mean to keep cutting you off there, Nine.
Oh no, it's okay. It's okay. It's all right. They actually started that a few years ago. It started. I was watching because I do actually keep up every now and again with League of Legends lore, and a channel I have, Necrit, I believe is his name, actually spoke a couple years ago. They redid the map, and they they show like the entire world. So they show where the Cursed Isles are, the Shurima, Noxus, Ionia, Demacia, Piltover, Zon. They put all those in there. Even like Mount Targon, they start like rewriting people's lore. Like they rewrote Warwick's, of course, Vi and Jinx. Well, their lore remained more of the same. It just got more expanded.
Yeah.
They just recently redid what's his name? The last person I checked on was Fiddlesticks. He's been they redid his. Soraka got her lore redone.
Oh, nice! About time. She's one of the older champions in there.
Yeah, so is Fiddlesticks.
Yeah,
Fiddlesticks too. Definitely, I'm glad. I actually need to go back and reread his new lore now.
Yeah,
I remember his old one. I think his old ones he was like an experiment of like a or something, if I remember right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I may be right. I was saying Valorant because, to be honest, I was kind of like, I kind of want to see a new game win.
Yeah, and that also that's always a factor because when you think about these games, that's also something that can be put in there. That's why I said before, Microsoft Flight Simulator, like it was there last year.
Yeah, I know.
And I can't remember if it won or won or if it didn't win or whatever, but yes.
Yeah. Yeah, but I may be right. It's probably going to be League of Legends.
So going on over to the next portion of this, I do want to talk about how people can watch the Video Game Awards. We are planning on streaming it when it does go live. But on here, how you guys can watch it, it does start at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Technically, the pre-show is at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you guys could be watching it on YouTube, Twitch, looks like Facebook, TikTok, and Twitter as well. Or you could go on GameSpot.com, which it says right here. You guys can watch it out there. And then Steam will also be showing events coupled with the Game Awards Festival, offering select demos upon upcoming games. While Oculus or Meta, whatever it's called now, will be offering 180-degree virtual reality experience through the Oculus venues. That's actually kind of cool.
Interesting.
Yeah. So if you guys want to tune in with us, make sure you guys are checking us here at twitch.tv/ALWT Gaming. 7:30 is the pre-show, but we probably won't be on it until closer to 8. So just be on the lookout for that. A couple hours of that good stuff. I did want to talk about. There's a couple games that was teased from former developers. One was a former Battlefield developer, and one was from a former Mass Effect and Dragon Age boss. So the first article I did want to read by Eddie Mack from GameSpot says, Embark Studios, the game studio run by former Electronic Arts boss Patrick Sunderland, is gearing up to share more details on its debut project, Arc Raiders, very soon. A teaser for the game point to reveal on December 9th, which matches up with the Game Awards event's Twitter page, quote, tweeted in the trailer, but all confirming its presence at the showcase on Thursday. There isn't much going on, but about 7 seconds into the teaser, a soldier with a machine gun is firing a giant ball before the screen cuts to black. The trailer invites the players to enlist and resist. So there you go. So that's a new game from them is going to be coming out, and then coming on over to Games Radar from Connor Sheridan, talks about.
Be right back.
Yep, talks about the former Mass Effect boss making a new game as well. The first game from BioWare, former BioWare boss Aaron Flynn's new studio is set to be revealed at the Game Awards on Thursday. Flynn dropped the teaser for the announcement on his personal Twitter account, saying that the studio planned to reveal its project as part of the big awards showcase. Most of what we know is the unannounced games coming from 2019 Game Informer interview, where it was framed as an online RPG. Though parent company Improbable has avoided calling it the project an MMORPG, it does seem to be taking aim at the overall part of the game's market. And then Flynn was a longtime BioWare employee who worked his way up from the tool programmer at Baldur's Gate 2 to studio general manager during the time of Mass Effect 3, Dragon Age Inquisition, and Mass Effect Andromeda. Flynn left BioWare before release of Anthem in 2018 and soon joined with Improbable, a gaming and simulation tech company, to lead its foray into games into North America with an office in Edmonton, Canada. So there you go. So we got a RPG style, which looks like it's going to be an MMORPG from a former Mass Effect boss. And then we have a looks like a shooting game from a former Battlefield developer. So does this news do anything for either one of you guys?
No, not yet.
I'm the same way. I need more. I mean, it's interesting to see that they're definitely going off and doing their own thing. But until we get more information, see what they're doing, what they're building, and how they're doing it, it's going to be like, best of luck to you,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested in the MMORPG game. The shooting, we'll just see what it is because we have so many different types of shooters out there right now. So I'm just kind of curious to see what that will look like. But the MMORPG, that always is something that gets me because I love playing games with my friends. I love being able to go inside a massive world and just be able to get lost in it, have a good time, do whatever. But so I'm curious about that one. And also on top of that, it is the former developer of, our former boss of Mass Effect and Dragon Age Mass Effect and Dragon Age. So I wonder if that means that there's going to be choice in that, very similar to how Elder Scrolls Online works, to where if you choose one thing, something will happen for you, but if I choose one thing, it will happen for me in a different way. So I'm very curious about that. Story number 2, Unreal Engine 5 reveal. So Eddie Mackey from GameSpot says Epic Games has created a new project themed around The Matrix, and it's coming soon. The Matrix Awakens, an Unreal Engine 5 experience, will be released later this week, but everyone can pre-download it right now for the free across PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X/S. The Matrix Awakens will offer a, quote, glimpse into the future of interactive storytelling and entertainment, end quote, with Unreal Engine 5, according to the production's description. It was developed by people who worked on the original Matrix movie, including Lana Wachowski, and will feature stars of the franchise such as Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss. Quote, The Matrix Awakens, an Unreal Engine 5 experience, is a wild ride into the reality-bending universe of The Matrix that features performances by Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss, end quote, reads the line from its description. A teaser video shows a very realistic-looking CG render of Keanu Reeves saying, quote, how do we know it's real, end quote. More details on The Matrix Awakens will be revealed during the Game Awards this Thursday, December 9th, so keep checking back for more. So I went ahead and downloaded that on the PS5, waiting for this Thursday to happen. I mean, obviously, we'll be live reacting to it, which again, www.twitch.tv/ALWT Gaming. But Unreal Engine 5, have you guys taken a clip of this, like, minute and 30-second video for Keanu Reeves saying that? How do we know it's real?
No.
I've seen a bit, seen like a small snippet of it, but nothing like. I haven't only watched the whole thing, if that's what you're asking. It's more just seems like, I mean, it definitely, to be honest, when they first announced Unreal Engine 5, with what they showed, just had me excited for what the capabilities are. So they're really, really amping it up, and it would not surprise me if you literally could not tell the difference unless you really, really looked hard at the game.
I saw it before we went live and after work. It's unreal how realistic this was. Like, if you look
really
at
have
it,
to use that.
it's unreal. Yeah, pun intended. It's absolutely unreal how this looks. Like, literally, if they didn't tell me it was CG, I would have never known that was not the real Keanu Reeves. Literally would have never known. I kid you not. And on top of that, it's not only like it's like he's far away. It's a close up right up on his face. So, which that is already hard to nail. You know what? Actually, go ahead and tell them about your lunch there, Nine Ball. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up a video. We're gonna watch it real quick.
What?
Tell them about your lunch.
Well, what I ate today. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, Keanu sandwich.
Well, it's a pre-rendered though. I mean, I know I sound a bit cynical, but it looks good. I just watched like 15 seconds of it real quick. But this is a pre-rendered photo. It's not really like video game graphics. I mean, yeah, they can make movies look like that, but it's totally different than a video game that has to render at real time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm hoping games look like that, but I probably want to see more of it. I don't really know much about the Unreal Engine 5. I haven't really looked into it or anything.
Well,
But
fear
yeah.
no more, because I have it. I'm pulling it up right now. Let me know when you guys can see it. Oh, don't do this. Be nice. Be nice.
What am I looking at? I'm looking at two squares dancing.
Yep,
I'm still looking at those two squares.
that's fine.
They're do-si doing.
Those are Unreal 5
All
engines.
right, we're gonna stop it real fast,
Oh, that was the graphics right
and
there.
then we're gonna
Yep.
bring it back up. Bam.
Watch stream.
Let's see if we can do it. Let's see if we can do it.
I feel like that guy from Jurassic Park. Push. Push. That little raptor was coming out of the A. It's not.
Dang it! All right, it's being poopy right now. All right, we're not gonna worry about it. It's fine. But yeah, but if you guys get a chance to check it out again, it's on YouTube. You can just look it up. Definitely looks really, 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 really like crisp. And yeah, I'm not expecting like gameplay necessarily to look like this, but at the same time, like you can have those cutscenes and it'll look like that. You can have those, just the possibility of how technology is going and how it's moving and how realistic that does look. That is the part that I'm like excited for.
Think of Kenna Bridge of Spirits gameplay versus their cutscenes, and then think about it if they had an Unreal Engine 5 aspect to it.
Yeah, because that's all
It would've
before
just-
Unreal Engine. That's the insane part.
It would probably be just over the top phenomenal. Like you'd be like, just can you sell me just the anime scenes? I'll pay $50 for it. You know, just we'll do that on the side. How's that sound? You know, it's like it's just that what Ember Labs did with just the current systems with what they could do in 5, like because there's advanced ray tracings, you know, meshes, like there's a lot in there. Like I'm with Nineball, I haven't gone too deep into it, but from what I remember is they're taking it to the next level, and I cannot wait to see that on systems. But I will have to agree, and I'll have to state in the aspect that it will depend on the systems themselves to be able to handle it and be able to put out that advancement of the graphics. Because
It would also depend on the people that use it, how they utilize it correctly.
yeah, I mean that is a big factor. Is, you know, can they really truly bring out the full effects of the engine? But then it also goes back to, all right, they bring out to the engine, but can the systems handle it? Point in case, Cyberpunk 2077 brought out a fantastic game and almost bricked PS4s.
To be fair, that was again like it's a game that has been pushing technology, and you're trying to play it on like 8, 9, 10 year hardware at that point.
I understand, but what I'm saying is because
Yeah, you should never go backwards, and
you
that's
should, yeah, that's what I'm kind of going for. Is like with newer engines like this, with the higher specs capabilities that they can go to, they have to really be careful because if the specs of the console, regardless if they're new and just came out, if they do not have the capability of handling like the full power of Unreal 5, then you're gonna have to tone them down. You're not gonna get the full amount of, say, of trying to figure out whether or not Keanu Reeves is real or not in there. So it will come down to how well they use it, how they're implementing it, how well it works with the current console technology. I know for games that are being built and coming out with it for PC, it's going to be phenomenal, and they're gonna be able to run it because PCs are constantly always evolving, and people are able to interchange components with CPUs, GPUs, RAMs, and all that. So I really am excited for Unreal 5, but I'm kind of concerned with just the capabilities of combining it with the current console build setups. And what they're going to be able to handle versus what Unreal 5 is putting out. So
I honestly think that we'll be fine because remember that tech demo from last year that was playing on a PS5. That was like they have a really good partnership with like Xbox obviously will be able to do it too as well, but Unreal has a really good partnership with PlayStation, which is why a lot of their promotional stuff was coming out with that. And last year when they showed that demo that looked gorgeous, that was running off of a PS5 before it even came out. So
those were, if I remember right, those were still or pre-rendered images. So it's kind of like what Nineball said. It's not in-game processing. So we'll have to see really how the in-game processors handle it.
the Luminous game that they showed that demo that was in game, like the person was moving around and everything.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, she was like walking through the water. They stopped it. They showed the noise that was all around it, and then she jumped and she started like skydiving all the way down to the bottom. Like it was really. I had to share it with you after stream or whatever. But yeah, it was definitely showing what the PlayStation 5 could do with Unreal Engine 5 as a promotion before it came out this year for developers.
Well, for me, it's a totally different issue. The problem has never been the graphics; it's the games themselves. When you look at a lot of these games, I mean, if you go back to, I'm gonna use like games like Anthem, of course, Cyberpunk 2077, Fallout 76. Yeah, I'm bringing that up too.
Why?
And recently, Battlefield 2042. The problem's never been the graphics; it's the games themselves. The games have been releasing in poor state. A lot of them have good graphics. Battlefield 2042, out of all the complaints I've been seeing lately, graphics is not really one of them. It's been the gameplay, and the issue of the supposed roadmap, the new way of doing it. I was sitting up here and I was thinking while I was talking, because I was like, when you look at a lot of the games, like Kenna looked beautiful, of course. Even Cyberpunk doesn't look terribly bad. Neither does, of course, Battlefield 2042, Call of Duty, and new Call of Duty. They all look good. It's lately been the amount of glitches, bugs, and other problems, and that would be something I would want to see how they would handle that with Unreal 5. The issue of the graphics themselves on the consoles is not going to be a big issue because unlike PCs, I was watching, like, I think it was called Too Much a long time ago, I was talking about that. Consoles are standard. So when you build one for one console, like for one PlayStation 5, you build them from every PlayStation 5.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to.
Real quick, I do want to interrupt because Pansu had commented in here saying it was real time, but actual games are rarely as great looking as the tech demos are. You are 100% correct. 100% correct. Yeah, they're just showing the capability of what it can do, and it does come down to, like Mildewy and Nineball were saying, it comes down to what do they do with it when they have it? Like how are developers utilizing it and inside their games and everything like that across the consoles. All I'm saying was that there's the possibility, the potential is there because it looks absolutely awesome when it here.
And I definitely have to agree with Nineball though. It really does come down to the developers, and I definitely agree with you, Nineball. And it's a point I did miss, is that can the developers use the newer tools that are introduced in Unreal 5 to build a better game? So the errors that they're having in say 4 that they're creating with these games that aren't doing well, is it something that can be solved in 5, or is it something that's going to become worse because of their lack of understanding in terms of 5 and the mechanics and how everything works and its build sets? So I definitely agree with Nineball. It's a very interesting thing to see coming forward. Like, I cannot wait for 5 to launch, but I'm interested to see how people use it. It's going to come down to developer use.
Yeah, I think that most developers will have a good grasp on it probably early 2024. I think a good couple of years would. Like, I'm not expecting God of War to be in this faction, even though I know that they have their own engines anyway. I know that I don't think
a lot of the engines are usually started out as Unreal engines, though.
Yeah, like
Call of Duty, all those, they put their own, basically alter their engine. I think Call of Duty originally had an Unreal engine, but turned it into their own. Trying to think of other.
Battlefield has its Frost engine.
Yeah, they have the Frostbite.
Cryo.
Yeah.
There's some other ones in there.
Pantsu One Head commented as well, says, yeah, and it's also because there's so much more that goes into an actual game than just focus, distilled down tech demo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
True.
And this is true.
Facts. Yeah.
You know, tech demos more or less just show basics,
Shows what they can do.
Yeah. And that's all I was saying. That's just showing what it can do. Like, I'm excited for when we get to that point, because Last of Us, like when I first saw Last of Us for the first time ever, like, dude, that looked absolutely amazing. I mean, obviously now when you look back at it, you're just like, oh, this is what Last of Us looked like back then. But at that time,
to be honest, to me, it still don't look bad today.
Mm-hmm. Pantua says, to be honest, I'm also not too concerned about the consoles as such. I mean, just look at something like Final Fantasy VII Remake on the PS4 that had difficult development and released on ancient hardware, and it still looked effing awesome. I preaching to the choir, man. I talk about Final Fantasy VII Remake at least twice a week, so feel free.
Twice?
Twice? Three times on a good day. 3 times on a good week.
No, I definitely agree with you. You definitely said Final Fantasy VII Remake, fantastic game, launched on 4 was fine. We can counteract that though with, like, say, Cyberpunk 2077 that launched on 4 was terrible.
Well, that was CD Projekt Red's fault. That's
that comes back to the developers of the game.
Yeah,
can they implement this stuff correctly? So I definitely agree with you. You can get good stuff with it on these systems and be fine, or you can have the bad things. So it really does come down to that final point of what are these developers going to do?
Just imagine Guerrilla Studios, Unreal Engine 5 have it mastered, coming out with the Horizon Forbidden West in that fashion.
How about a Gears of War?
Oh man,
dude, that would be insane. That would be absolutely insane.
How about Silent Hill?
I knew that was coming up. I do want to talk about story number 3, which was one that I was going to kind of leave off, but I've been talking about it for literally a full year at this point, over a year. Which talk about PlayStation Game Pass, quote unquote. Ian Walker from Kotaku says Sony is finalizing a new PlayStation subscription meant to give the platform its own Xbox style Game Pass style service that is tentatively scheduled to launch next spring. Bloomberg reports. The current plan is apparently to combine PlayStation's cloud-based service, gaming service, PlayStation Now, with the monthly free offerings of PlayStation Plus, phasing out the former favor of the latter's to more prominent branding. According to internal Sony documents seen by Bloomberg, the monthly fee for this new subscription, codenamed Spartacus, will provide players with the unlimited access to a library of both modern and classic PlayStation games. Kotaku contacted PlayStation or Sony for a comment, but didn't hear back before the publication. Much like Xbox Game Pass, the Spartacus subscription will also come in various flavors depending on how much users are willing to spend. The cheapest tier should look a lot like the current PlayStation Plus service. The second tier will add PS4 and eventually PS5 games, and the third tier will offer extended demos and game streaming, as well as PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, and even PSP libraries. End quote, end story.
End quote.
Here's the thing.
Says in the chat.
No day one release on the subscription service. No sub for me. I'm indifferent on that one. I'm half and half. I think that this is a great idea.
That won't be day one.
Yeah, I think this is a great idea. I do think that they have a good thing going here, and they're heading in the right direction. I am curious of what the price is going to be. I know Gravity, I mentioned that inside of our group chat off stream. I am curious about that. If it's still like what, $10 a month or whatever, $15 a month, I'm fine with that. If it jumps up to like $25 a month, as much as I love PlayStation, I think that's a little much. I think that's going to be too much taken out of the Nintendo's playbook or what they're doing with the services. Yes, I would love to go back and play my Final Fantasy VII original. I'd love to go ahead and start back Final Fantasy VIII. I'd love to go back and play Legend of Dragoon. Love to go back and play the Bouncer on PS2. Like, all of that stuff I would love to go ahead and do, but the price has to be right. I would think the day one releases will be, again, a nice little perk in there. That's the one thing that I would say would be missing from that. I don't. If it's third party, I can see them doing day one releases. Outside of that, I don't think any of their first party, like God of War Ragnarok, is not going to be a first day one release. It's just not. Same thing for any Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2. It's not going to be a day one release. I don't mind spending the money on it. I love these games. But if you want to combat what Xbox is doing it directly, like I know there's still some games that's on Xbox Game Pass that is day one, but the quality is not exactly there just yet. We're starting to see that. Forza Horizon 5 is a day one. That's quality. Back for Blood is half and half. I liked it. I definitely enjoyed it, but again, like I think that's quality to what it is. But when we start getting to some stuff like what's it called? Redfall and Starfield and stuff like that, that's when we're start getting those quality level games that would rival Sony games on day one. He says, I honestly wish Sony had a service exactly like Microsoft does with day one releases and PC version. I'd play more of that than I am Game Pass, but as it stands, I would probably get Pass. All of Microsoft games are day one. Yes. I'm still kind of curious. Like, I don't think it's ever been confirmed as far as how long they're going to be on there, since it says it's a Netflix style service. But again, with I would assume anything that's Microsoft Studios is going to stay on Game Pass indefinitely. As long as you have Game Pass, you have the game. Yeah, I agree that some of these games are more appealing, which is why I would pay more. Yeah, I don't mind. I'm that type of person that if I can own if it's a movie, take video games out of it. If it's a movie that I love and it's on Netflix, I'm still buying the DVD. I'm still buying the Blu-ray, because that can leave the services at any point. But that DVD Blu-ray is mine to keep, period. Like, I have it for generations and generations until it breaks. And then I'll probably buy it again. So that way I even have it for extended services. Companies could go under at any moment. But as long as I have the hard copy and still the console, I'm good to go.
Amen.
Yeah, Microsoft published stuff stays pretty much forever. Third-party stuff comes and goes. Yeah. And that's kind of what I thought. And I figured that that's what it's going to be. And if there's any service, a subscription service that's out there that's likely to stand and not go bankrupt or out of business, it is going to be something that's developed by Microsoft. One of the wealthiest companies in the entire world. But even with that being said, I still I would like to see day one purchases on Sony, and I know that they're still talking about it, so that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen, but I find it very unlikely that it would happen. Your guys' thoughts?
It depends. Like you said before, the pricing makes a big difference. If you're gonna go against the big kids, you better swing hard. They have to come in with a pretty good price.
Mm-hmm.
And they may have to do day one, because if Microsoft decides to fight back, I told you before about how much money Microsoft's got. Mm-hmm. Xbox itself, the business, counts as 1%, and it's part of the other category in Microsoft.
Yeah,
that's how much money Microsoft's got.
Bill Gates.
They got so much money they can start paying their gamers.
Yeah, pretty much. They can hand everybody
an annual check. This is for playing Halo.
Pretty much.
Good Lord, the amount of people who play Halo multiplayer is...
Yeah, it's staggering.
It's a good game. It's a good game.
It's fun. It's hectic and it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
But they have to do that. My other problem is, how would they do the older? I'm seeing PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, and PlayStation Portable. I have quite a bit of games I loved, but they were not really PlayStation 4. There's some PlayStation 3 games. There's some PSP games, of course, you know I love. And there's some classic PlayStation games. How will they run? Will they upgrade the graphics? Will they leave them at 720 or real small? And will you have to stream? Right now, PlayStation Now, I believe, it's certain games you can play straight out. And
all the games you can play
first.
Straight out, except for PS3 games, you have to stream that.
Yeah, you have to. I would prefer to.
Whatever.
I still would prefer to be able to. If I'm gonna play them, I prefer to be able to download them.
Same.
In order to play them, because I played before. I believe I was over at my sister's house. The kids have PlayStation Now. Mm-hmm. And I was playing certain games, and we did have some connection issues. Now, they have really good internet. It's not their fault. It's just sometimes it's just an issue with that. So I'm really worried. I mean, I'm glad that they put it in there, but like we're reiterating price. If you're gonna go high for the high tier one, you better put the exclusive first party titles in there
I would
day
like
one.
that too. Yep, I would absolutely, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would love
if you're gonna,
that.
yeah, and they have to price it right. You cannot do like you said $25-$30 a month for that because that's basically a cable channel,
Mm.
and it won't do well.
If they include, because again, Sony owns Crunchyroll and Funimation. If they include that as well, I'd be all for that. Like, I know they're not going to, but I'd be all for that if they did.
Well, it's not even that because, like I said before, that's a niche, sort of a niche thing. I'm not saying it's bad. I mean, I love my anime, so don't get me wrong. But not everybody that plays video games. I have quite a few friends of mine. They don't really watch anime. They're not fans of anime. They like their shooters and other games, but they don't really watch anime. So Funimation, Crunchyroll to them is not a make or break deal.
True,
But the anime,
go ahead.
yeah. But for anime fans, it is because that's it's a niche or a targeted audience. Kind of like you ever heard of Shudder?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that. They're like that. It's very focused towards that particular group.
Yeah, and Pansu he made a couple comments here. He says, yeah, but Sony will not put in the effort to develop the PS3 emulator. They totally could, but that would probably be somewhat costly. You're speaking facts here. You're speaking facts here. I'm liking this conversation.
Yeah,
but
but
here,
think about it.
including
go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, he says on here, including it could get them into anime, which honestly, anime has become a lot more mainstream over the years. Like back in the day, I put out a little meme out there where it said like everyone was making fun of me when I was a kid for watching anime, and they're like, no, you weren't weird for like an anime. You were weird for trying to do their special attacks during recess. Like that, like it was that was
What's weird about that. I should be okay, kid. Someone, come on.
Yeah, right there.
But I'm just saying in general, like anime, just like video games, actually as well, has came a very very long way, and now it's becoming more mainstream to where you're starting to see animes more regularly inside movie theaters. Like before, you saw back in the day when I was like middle school or in high school, I think the only anime movie that was in theater was Pokemon. Like the Pokemon movie, and I think that was like it.
Ooh, I can date
Pokemon
myself.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
You know, I'm going to date myself.
Date it.
It was like a little neon. It was like back when I was a kid. It was like only one theater they used to do it. It was like the neon theaters.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And back when I was a kid, Akira was in the neon theater.
Oh man, he went beginning world, people.
Yep. He says
Ghibli
films,
were
yeah.
Yeah, Ghibli is. I definitely would agree. In my opinion, they're definitely anime, and they're in there. Like Ghibli is one of my favorite series. Like with their films, they're so good, so good. But I know there's been some people who've kind of argued that it's like I've heard some arguments where people are like it's not anime because it was made by Studio Ghibli, who's here and works with Pixar and blah 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 and all that. And I'm like, get off your horses, guys! Like it's anime. It's beautiful, is what it is. It's fantastic. Definitely, Pansy, though. Thank you for joining in the chat with us. We appreciate it. Oh yeah, it's absolutely anime. No, I agree. It's absolutely anime.
This is my guy right here. Guy or gal. This is my person right here. Panzu,
definitely.
You're all right with Malachi 36.
No, I agree completely. And I told all of them to shut up and get out. Because they ain't enjoying good stuff. But no, just I definitely am curious to get the final aspects of it. I know we've got some information here about tiers and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely agree with you guys. We want to know more details, especially with the older games. Like, how are we going to do that? Because you better not pull Nintendo on us where it can't save because it doesn't recognize an N64 save file format. It better not do that shit. In terms of your comment, Panzu, about an emulator, there's emulators out there. So
I was about to say that.
They easily can probably just reach out to someone. They could probably reach out to some groups and say, hey, can we talk? Can we do some deals? Because I'm like, there's emulators out there for PS1, PS2, and PS3. Because even PS1 started as a disc.
Yeah.
So it's still something that people can still emulate on something that can run a disc, which is PCs. So there's emulators out there for them, and I'm pretty sure that they can get their hands on something or talk to someone and get some groups in there to really build one. It might be expensive, but it'd probably be well worth it, especially when you can get that capability of being able to save it and save those games locally onto a system or even a PC.
Yeah.
You know, if they get a PC access, like that would even be even better.
I think it should be able to save on a PS5 if they do it.
5 PC
Or cloud.
Yeah, cloud. Save on the PS Cloud, so you can access on either of the systems. I agree. The tier system I kind of like because you can still just say, like, if you don't want to do the pass, you can definitely just still do your standard monthly,
Right.
which is nice. It doesn't make it, you know, one or the other. And then you got the tiers going up to where you look at it as like, do I want to go up to that next step? And I've seen a lot of sites do that. Like, do you want to do the normal membership? Do you want to do the premium memberships, you know, or the more advanced memberships? Like, I've seen the tier options go for those. So it's really good. Let's see here. Banji says, well, PS3 architecture is weird. It would be easier for Sony to do it than another group because Sony has a documentation, but it would still be costly. I know there is one PC made with fans, but I don't think Sony will bother. I mean, you're right. You know, it really depends upon what their thought process is and how they want to go about it in terms of either building their own, reaching out to someone. You're definitely right. They are fan-built ones, but a lot of times fans will pretty much data mine to get this stuff and be able to build something good.
Now,
you're right.
here's
They absolutely
what,
could, but probably wouldn't.
Here's one thing I will say in reference to everything you guys are saying is that now we do keep in mind PlayStation for their Steam library stuff. It's no longer PlayStation Mobile. It's PlayStation. I think it's like PlayStation PC now. They're trying to get inside the PC game, so it's possible light at the end of the tunnel, but we'll have to wait and see. It's outside the norm for them to care for something like this. I will say that. It does. Is outside the realm of the normal possibilities that they normally would do. But with the brand changing and you're starting to see more games come to PC, yes, there are select games, but you are seeing some more of them come to PC. It's a possibility. You never know.
And Panji's like, the fans reverse engineer. I'm like, they do. Like, the fans, like, those hardcore fans will be out there and they will reverse engineer stuff and, like, go into it to get codings and everything to be able to get stuff to make it work. Like, they do that even nowadays with old games that won't run on the newer Windows systems.
Yeah.
Like, to get them onto it because, you know, the old formats have, like, just, like, that bit of coding that just doesn't work anymore on the newer one.
It'll happen.
I just want Bloodborne on PC. Yep. Fans do. I am 100% with you there. I've heard the rumors. I want them to do it. Bring me some Bloodborne on PC so I can just get everyone involved and we can go have a good time.
It's going to happen.
Give it to us. Give it to us, man.
It's on the it's on the PlayStation Plus collection. So you already have it for free on PS5. It's going to happen. It's going to end up coming to PC. I know that. I feel like that's going to be the normal trend there. We shall all fear the old blood.
Oh. Fear it and love it.
I do want to throw a few quick little tidbits here. We're not going to go over each story because we are running over today, but it's all good conversation for sure. PS5 does have some scuffed controllers that's currently out. They are pretty pricey according to the Kotaku article here. Final Fantasy Endwalker has more concurrent players once again, which is happy for me because I love Final Fantasy 14 and it's doubled. It says it's reaching its peak. Concurrent players on Steam last weekend reaching its peak of 95,000 players according to the Steam database.
Yep, and that's why we was playing. That's what was playing. We was Stranded Deep the other day because
I
was gonna get on 14. It was like I was in Q 6,000. I was like, what?
I was at 3,000. I was at 3,000 at one point.
Yeah, Nine Ball was like, hey, Mildew, like, you want to play some Stranded Deep? I'm like, sure. I'm like, he's like, I was gonna play Final Fantasy. I'm like, how's that going? He goes, oh, there's 6,000 in queue. Like, yeah. Panzu's like, and let's see here. And that is just on Steam. There's 2 versions on PC, Steam, and Windows. That plus the console version.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I was on the PS5. Yeah, I was on the PS5, and I was at 3,000 from when I tried over the weekend. I think I watched
I was at 6.
I think that. Remember when I told you, Mildewy Care? I was watching Darling in the Franxx over the weekend.
Yeah,
that was part of the reason why, is I was waiting for the queue to go down.
That doesn't surprise me at all. Like, and you're right, Panzu. That's just saying Steam. Like, you're not counting on Windows, on PlayStation. Like, it's a huge community, especially after the stuff that happened with WoW and all the giant migration. So it doesn't surprise me that Endwalker is just killing it right now.
Yeah,
if you bought stocks for Endwalker ahead of time, congratulations, you're rich.
yeah. I'm absolutely proud of what Final Fantasy 14 has done with the franchise from where it was a crap show beforehand, just turned it all around. Absolutely proud of them.
You said stonks. They said stonks.
Yeah. Xbox Game Pass is revealing 4 games at Video Games Awards this Thursday. So once again, we'll be streaming that live. 7:50 is probably when the stream will go live for us. But the actual event itself will happen at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Walmart is restocking PS5s tomorrow for Walmart Plus members and this Saturday, which is the 11th. So if you guys are trying to get yourself a PS5 and be part of that ecosystem, Walmart is the place to be at. I have strategies because I've been able to get, I don't say this braggingly. I am saying this as being informative that I know that I can get a PS5. Yeah,
hey,
let's go. Sonic Frontiers, let's go all day.
But bring back the goodies.
Yeah, I've been able to get 6 PS5s this year, Xbox Series S and X, and a Steam Deck, all with this strategy that I have. So if you guys are anyone that's listening on Anchor, Spotify, YouTube, whatever, if you guys are trying to get a PS5 or a next gen console in general, I should say, hit me up in the inbox and I'll give you guys my strategy of how I do it. It's not illegal. It's just I don't think a lot of people think about it. There you go, Chrono Cross.
He's like, I had to find the old.
Yeah, I still got the disc. I still got the book for the thing, and it's still in there.
Oh, man. I used to let me pause for that. There was a certain charm that came with those games that have like a little booklet inside and tells you the character descriptions. I used to love my Final Fantasy VII like booklet telling me about Cloud and Sephiroth as a secret file and stuff. Anyway, I digress. Plus games are currently out, so if you guys missed the November Plus games, they're they're gone and done. They're broken and gone, whatever. And what's out right now is the Godfall Challenger Edition. I miss booklets so much. Yeah, I agree with you. No school like the old school.
Amen.
The Godfall.
Wow, we just dated ourselves.
We did, yeah. Godfall Challenger Edition. There is Mortal Shell. And then the Lego villain game.
Lego DC Super Villains.
Thank
Get
you.
it right. Stop hating.
I am hating. That used to be a big part of the experience for me. I would read them before starting the game. Yeah, you would just read it on the drive home. You know what I mean? Like that was it. You just open it up, start to read about the characters, get to look up the controls early. Like that was the way to do it. Sometimes there's
now you just got to read the back of a case, or actually now you don't even get it. Now you just download the game directly digital and just get the base synopsis, and that's all you got, and then you have to play the game to figure everything out.
No love in the ghetto. All right, and that actually does it for us on All Things Gaming for episode 76. Remember, this normally Thursday nights are Smite nights for us, but this Thursday night we are going to be streaming. We're going to be live reacting and watching the Video Game Awards for 2021, seeing if some of our predictions come true. I know one of mine's not coming true. We already talked about that earlier in the show. But I can still get points for Saints Row coming out, and I can still get points for a gameplay trailer. That's all it is. Live yawning. Let's be real. We'll see. We have a pretty good time just hanging out on that one. So we'll see. If it's
yawning with what they're giving, we still have fun just talking shit about the yawning that they're giving.
Yep. Drinking our Raised energy drinks.
We did that with like what was that? I think we did the Xbox one. We're just like, what the hell is this?
Oh, the
Trebuchet, yeah.
No, the Trebuchet video sent shit. All right, that was the highlight. All right.
My bad.
Talking about Microsoft Flight, aren't you?
Oh, that's the best thing.
Oh yeah. We'll be watching too, but yeah, it's usually kind of just bad. Yeah, we'll see because remember 2 years ago they did reveal the Xbox Series X at this event, and then
I'm in it for the trash.
I'm in it for the winning. And then we are having a 9 to 5 segment that's going to be coming up here momentarily. I think we're going to aim for the 18th. I will keep you guys posted about that as I talk with my colleagues concerning this. But again, in the immediate future right now, All Things Game or our VGA live reactions happening this Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, followed by All Things Gaming next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. Thanks for hanging out. Pansu, shout out to you. First time chowder and hanging out with us. We appreciate you for sure. If you want to hang out with us online again on Thursday, we're here, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until next time, everybody, Control Alts.
Complete.
Peace, love, and hair grease.
Really?
You gotta love it. You gotta love it.